Why was no one stopping him? The locker room carried the sharp tang of concrete and sweat, that particular swagger of men who'd never truly been pushed to their limits. Master Chief Olivia Harper stood motionless as Major Ethan Caldwell's hands clamped around her throat. His hold was textbook, thumbs pressing the windpipe, fingers digging into the carotid arteries with the cold efficiency of someone who'd practiced it plenty. 40 pounds of pressure, maybe 45, enough to choke off air, enough to send a message. Olivia's pulse didn't flinch. 62 beats per minute, the same steady cadence it had kept through 21 years of combat, through firefights in Fallujah, through ambushes in the Hindu Kush. Through the night her husband's flag-draped casket came home. 62, calm as a clock. Her eyes flicked once to the security camera in the northeast corner, red light blinking. Sony HDC 2400 recording in 1080p to the central server. Time stamp rolling, evidence building. She looked back at Caldwell. "Major," she said, her voice was even, almost gentle. "Cameras are rolling. Article 128, aggravated assault. You sure you want to do this?" Caldwell's face was 6 inches from hers. She could smell the bourbon on his breath, see the red veins threading his eyes, read 20 different flavors of fury in the tight lines around his mouth. "I don't give a damn about cameras," he growled. "I give a damn about washed-up has-beens like you hogging billets real warriors could use." His fingers tightened. Olivia's expression never shifted. Behind Caldwell, Captain Noah Ellis shifted his weight, uneasy, unsure. His eyes kept darting to the camera, to Olivia's face, to the door, hunting for any way out. Sergeant Miguel Torres stood with arms folded, watching, waiting to see how this played out. None of them understood what was coming. How could they? They didn't know the woman Caldwell was choking had ended 187 hostile lives across 4 continents, that her call sign had been Reaper, that the last man who'd put hands on her throat had died 3 seconds later with a crushed larynx in a compound outside Mosul. They didn't know, but they were about to find out. Let's pause right here, because what happened in the next 2.3 seconds would break everything wide open. Major Ethan Caldwell thought he understood war, thought he understood skill, and the quiet woman before him. He just made the biggest mistake of his career by attacking her, but to grasp that moment, you have to go back to how it started. 48 hours earlier. Forward Operating Base Ironside crouched in the Mojave Desert like an open wound on the earth. 15 miles north of 29 Palms. Population 847. A mixture of Army Rangers, Navy liaisons, civilian contractors, and the rare breed who volunteered for the missions no one else wanted. The temperature at 1000 hours was already pushing triple digits. The unmarked Humvee that delivered Olivia Harper to the main gate was an M1152 up-armored model. Tan paint bleached to the color of sun-bleached bone. Desert dust thick enough to write your name in. The driver was a specialist who looked 19 and knew better than to ask questions. Smart kid. Olivia rode in back with her duffel and watched the landscape crawl by. Joshua trees standing like lonely sentinels against a sky so blue it hurt. She'd seen worse duty stations. The gate sentry checked her ID 3 times, scanned it twice, made a phone call, finally waved them through with the look of a man who'd just been told his job was way above his pay grade. Also smart. The Humvee dropped her at the admin building. Low white concrete block, solar panels on the roof, American flag hanging limp in the dead morning air. "Master Chief," the driver glanced at her in the mirror, "need help with the bag." "I'm good, specialist, thank you." She stepped into the furnace heat, slung the duffel, walked toward the building with the same ground-eating stride she'd used for 23 years. Not hurried, not lazy, just economical. The kind of gait that saved calories when you were humping a 100-pound ruck through mountains where every wasted step could kill you. The duffel weighed 42 pounds. She knew because she'd weighed it that morning. She weighed everything, measured everything, calculated everything. That was how you stayed alive in a job where sloppiness was measured in body bags. Inside, the admin building was 15 degrees cooler and smelled of copier toner and floor wax and scorched coffee. The duty sergeant glanced up, saw the rank, shot to his feet so fast his chair rolled backward. "Master Chief, General Mitchell is expecting you. Second deck, last door right." "Thank you, Sergeant." She took the stairs, always the stairs. Know your exits, know your escape routes. Never box yourself in an elevator if you can avoid it. The second-floor hallway was lined with framed photographs, deployments, unit ceremonies, faces, young and old, staring out from behind glass, some dead now, some retired, some still out there bleeding for a country that barely remembered their names. Olivia didn't look at the pictures. She'd been in enough of them. General Robert Mitchell's office sat at the end, door open, the man himself behind a desk buried in reports and maps and the clutter of command. He looked up when she knocked. "Master Chief Harper, come in," shut the door. She came to attention. Mitchell was 58, Gulf War vet, the kind of officer who'd earned his star the hard way, leading from the front when that could still get you killed, face like old boot leather, eyes that had seen too much. Those eyes studied her now. "At ease, Master Chief, have a seat." She sat back straight, hands folded, the picture of military bearing. Mitchell leaned back, chair creaking under him. "Your file," he said, "is the thinnest piece of garbage I've seen in 37 years." Olivia said nothing. "Technical advisor, communication systems integration," he snorted. "That's the cover they gave you." "That's my assignment, sir." "Bull, I know Dev Group when I see it, Master Chief. Hell, I worked with your people in 91. Desert Storm. Best damn shooters I ever saw." A beat, the air conditioner hummed. Outside, someone barked cadence, boots pounding in rhythm. "What's the real mission?" Mitchell asked. Olivia met his gaze, decided this man had earned the truth. "Penetration testing, sir, base security. I find the gaps, I report them. 18 months, then I'm done for good." Mitchell nodded slowly. "Your choice to come back." "No, sir, Title 10 Special Directive. JSOC requested, I volunteered." "Why, you'd earned retirement, clean break, why return?" Olivia's jaw flexed, almost imperceptibly, but Mitchell caught it. "My daughter, Emily, she's a plebe at West Point this year. I took this job because it's CONUS. No deployments, no combat. I can be a phone call away if she needs me. 18 months, then I'm out. I'm going to teach civilians to scuba dive somewhere quiet and never wear this uniform again." Mitchell's expression softened a fraction. "Your husband, Nathan Harper, I read about that. Hellman 2010, I'm sorry." "Thank you, sir. He was a good officer." "He was the best man I ever knew." The silence that followed had weight, the kind you only get from shared loss, from understanding some conversations don't need more words. Finally, Mitchell slid a folder across the desk. "Your quarters, credentials, cover remains. As far as anyone here knows, you're exactly what the file says, a master chief doing tech work. Nobody needs to know different." "Understood, sir." "One more thing, Harper." "Sir." "This is an army post, Rangers mostly. Good troops but young, peacetime cocky. Some might not like a Navy advisor who outranks them and won't explain why. I can handle Army Rangers, sir. I've worked with worse." Mitchell almost smiled. "I bet you have, dismissed, Master Chief." She rose, saluted, turned to leave. "Harper." She paused, looked back. "Welcome home." Her quarters were standard issue, 8 by 10, metal bunk, metal desk, metal locker, window overlooking the training fields, Spartan, functional, exactly what she expected. She dropped the duffel on the floor, sat on the edge of the bunk, pulled out her phone. No messages from Emily. Good. The kid was focused on her studies, as she should be. Olivia stared at the small room, at the life she'd chosen to return to, temporary, 18 months, then freedom, then the chance to be a mother instead of a weapon. But something twisted in her gut, some instinct honed over 2 decades. This wasn't going to be as simple as she'd hoped. She could feel it already, in the way the duty sergeant had looked at her, in the way Mitchell had warned her about the Rangers, in the air itself. There were men here who wouldn't accept her, wouldn't respect her, wouldn't believe she'd earned this rank, this place, this breath of air. And she'd have to prove herself all over again. Or worse, she'd have to stay silent, let them think what they wanted, keep her head down, do her job, and disappear. The thought exhausted her. 21 years of combat, 21 years of proving herself, and still here she was, back at square one, an outsider in a uniform she'd bled for. But that's what she'd signed up for. One more mission, one more test, then peace. If such a thing existed for people like her. She stood, unpacked her gear, arranged everything with military precision. Then she lay down on the bunk, closed her eyes, let her heart beat slow. 62 beats per minute. Always 62. Even when the world was pressing down on her throat. What happens when you're invisible in a room full of soldiers? The operations briefing started at 0800. Olivia arrived at 0755, 5 minutes early, always 5 minutes early. It was a habit drilled into her bones. Respect the schedule, respect the mission, show up ready. The briefing room was standard military. Long table, folding chairs, whiteboard covered in operational maps and acronyms, fluorescent lights humming overhead like a swarm of mechanical bees. 6 officers already seated, all Army, all male, all talking among themselves with the easy confidence of men who belonged. Olivia stepped inside, found an empty chair near the back, sat down, opened her notebook, waited. No one looked at her. Not a glance, not a nod, not even the common courtesy of acknowledgement. She might as well have been a ghost. Major Ethan Caldwell sat at the head of the table, broad shoulders, square jaw, the kind of officer who led from the front and expected everyone to follow without question. His father had been a colonel, killed in action in Iraq, a hero. Caldwell wore that legacy like armor. He glanced at Olivia once. His eyes swept over her rank, her uniform, her face, then dismissed her entirely. Captain Noah Ellis sat to Caldwell's right, younger, nervous energy, the kind of officer still trying to prove he deserved to be in the room. He kept stealing glances at Olivia, curious, uncertain, but he said nothing. The briefing began. Caldwell outlined the training schedule, live fire exercises, close quarters combat drills, tactical insertion scenarios. His voice was sharp, authoritative. He spoke like a man who'd never had his orders questioned. Olivia listened, took notes, observed. The security protocols were sloppy, perimeter weak, communication systems outdated, entry points vulnerable. She could see 6 critical failures just sitting there. 6 ways an enemy could breach this base without breaking a sweat. That was her job, find the gaps, report them, fix them. But when Caldwell asked for input, she stayed silent. Because she knew what would happen if she spoke. She'd seen it before, 1,000 times. The moment a woman offered tactical advice in a room full of men, the shift in the air, the tightening of jaws, the subtle dismissal disguised as politeness. So she waited. Let them talk, let them plan, let them make their mistakes. Her report would speak for itself. After the briefing, Olivia approached Caldwell. "Major, if I could have a moment." He cut her off. "Master Chief, I appreciate your presence here, but we've got this covered. You focus on your tech work. We'll handle the tactical side." "Sir, I've reviewed the security protocols. and there are some vulnerabilities. Like I said, we've got it covered." He turned away, conversation over. Olivia stood there for a moment, not angry, not offended, just tired. This was the dance she'd done her entire career. The quiet dismissal, the polite condescension, the assumption that because she was a woman she couldn't possibly understand tactics, strategy, combat. Even with 21 years of service, even with more confirmed kills than anyone in that room, even with a chest full of medals locked away in a file cabinet somewhere in Virginia, none of it mattered. Because she was a woman, and she was Navy, and she wasn't one of them. So she left the briefing room, walked outside into the brutal desert heat, let it burn against her skin, reminded herself why she was here. 18 months, for Emily, for the pension, for the chance to finally walk away with her head held high. She could endure this. She'd endured worse. But something twisted in her chest, a familiar ache, the same ache she'd felt when her husband died, when she'd held his hand in that hospital room and watched the light fade from his eyes, the ache of being invisible, of giving everything you had and still not being enough. She pushed it down, buried it deep, locked it away in the same place she kept all the other hurts. And she kept walking. That night Olivia ran the perimeter of the base, 6 miles, 43 minutes. Her body moved like a machine, efficient, relentless, sweat soaking through her PT gear, lungs burning in the dry desert air. She ran to clear her head, to silence the noise, to remember who she was beneath the uniform. A warrior, a mother, a survivor. She ran past the training fields where young rangers practiced their drills, past the armory where weapons gleamed under fluorescent lights, past the motor pool where Humvees sat like sleeping beasts. And she thought about Nathan. Her husband, her partner, her anchor. He'd understood her in ways no one else ever could, because he'd been like her. Special operations, dev group, a shooter, a protector. Someone who'd seen the worst humanity had to offer and still chose to fight for something better. He died protecting his team, took a round meant for his lieutenant, bled out before the medevac arrived. Get everyone home, that's what he'd always said, get everyone home. And he had, everyone except himself. Olivia's pace quickened, her legs burned, her heartbeat thundered in her ears. She missed him, God, she missed him. But she couldn't afford to dwell on it, not here, not now. She had a mission, and missions didn't care about grief. When she returned to her quarters, drenched in sweat and gasping for air, she found a note slipped under her door. Handwritten, anonymous. Go home, diversity hire, we don't need you here. Olivia stared at the note for a long moment, then she crumpled it up, tossed it in the trash. She'd received worse. She showered, changed into clean fatigues, sat at her desk and opened her laptop. Her report to General Mitchell was precise, clinical. She outlined every security vulnerability she'd identified, every protocol that needed updating, every gap in their defenses. She attached photos, diagrams, recommendations. Then she hit send. And she waited. Because that's what patience looked like. You took the hits, you absorbed the insults, you did your job with quiet excellence. And eventually, the truth revealed itself. But sitting there in that small metal room, staring at the blank wall in front of her, Olivia wondered if the truth would matter. She'd learned a long time ago that truth was a luxury. Power, that's what mattered, and she didn't have it. Not here, not anymore. She was just a ghost in the machine, invisible, expendable. But ghosts had a way of haunting the living. And Olivia Harper was patient. Very, very patient. When does humiliation become fuel? The training field was brutal at noon, heat shimmering off the sand like liquid glass, 108 degrees in the shade, and there was no shade. Olivia stood in full combat gear, helmet, vest, rifle, 75 pounds of equipment strapped to a body that had already run 6 miles before breakfast. Major Caldwell had called an impromptu drill. Readiness assessment, he'd called it, but everyone knew what it really was. A test. Not for the unit, for her. "Master Chief," Caldwell barked across the field, "you're up." She stepped forward, no hesitation, no complaint. The course was simple, 200 meters, low crawl under razor wire, sprint through tire obstacles, climb the rope wall, finish with live fire accuracy on targets at 50, 100, and 200 meters. Standard Ranger training. Olivia had run variations of this course 100 times, in jungles, in mountains, in urban kill houses where one wrong move meant death. But this wasn't about the course. This was about making her fail, in front of everyone. She dropped to the prone position, began her crawl. The sand scorched her forearms, razor wire inches above her back. One wrong move and she'd tear open her uniform, her skin, bleed into the desert. She moved with mechanical precision, elbows, knees, elbows, knees. Behind her she heard laughter. Look at her, moving like a damn turtle. Navy soft, can't handle real work. How'd she even make Master Chief? Diversity quota. Olivia's heartbeat stayed steady, 62 beats per minute. She reached the tire obstacles, launched herself through them. Her legs burned, her lungs screamed, but she didn't slow. The rope wall loomed ahead, 30 feet of vertical hell. She grabbed the rope, pulled. Her body remembered this, muscle memory carved from thousands of hours of training. Her hands moved without thought. Her legs found purchase. She climbed like she was born to it. Because she was. At the top she paused, looked down at the field below. The Rangers were watching now, silent, curious. She dropped the rope, hit the ground, rolled, came up running. The firing range was 50 meters away. She grabbed the rifle, chambered around, sighted down range. 3 targets, 50 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters. She fired. Center mass, 50 meters, hit. She adjusted, fired again. Headshot, 100 meters, hit. Final adjustment, breathe, squeeze. 200 meters, between the eyes, hit. She cleared the weapon, set it down, turned to face Caldwell. He stood there, arms crossed, face unreadable. "Time?" he asked the sergeant with the stopwatch. 4 minutes, 18 seconds, sir." A murmur rippled through the gathered soldiers. That was faster than most of the Rangers, faster than some of the best shooters on base. Caldwell's jaw tightened, not bad for Navy. He turned away, dismissed her with the wave of his hand. Olivia stood there, sweat pouring down her face, chest heaving, and felt something crack inside her. Not anger, not pride. Just a deep, bone-tired resignation. She could be faster than them, stronger than them, better than them. And it still wouldn't matter. Because she wasn't one of them. That evening, Olivia sat alone in the dining facility. Tray of food she didn't taste, mind somewhere else. Captain Ellis approached, hesitated, then sat down across from her. "Master Chief, that was impressive today." She looked up. "Thank you, Captain." "I mean it, 418 on that course, that's exceptional." She said nothing. Ellis shifted uncomfortably. "Look, I know Caldwell's been riding you. He's dealing with some stuff, his father." "I know about his father, Captain." "Right, of course." Ellis rubbed the back of his neck. "He was a hero, KIA, Iraq. Caldwell's been trying to live up to that his whole career. I think seeing someone like you here with your record, it threatens him." "My record is classified, Captain. He doesn't know my record." "No, but he can tell you're not just some tech advisor. Anyone with eyes can tell." Olivia met his gaze. "What is it you want, Captain?" Ellis hesitated, then spoke quietly. I want to understand why you're here, why you took this assignment. You could have walked away. You earned that. I have a daughter, she's at West Point. I wanted to be close, that's all. That's all. That's all. Ellis nodded slowly. For what it's worth, I don't think you're a diversity hire. I think you're probably the most qualified person on this base, and I'm sorry you're not being treated that way. Olivia felt something shift in her chest, a small crack in the armor she'd built. Thank you, Captain. That means more than you know. He stood, offered a small nod. Be careful around Caldwell, Master Chief. He's not stable right now. I can handle Major Caldwell. I hope so. He left. Olivia sat alone again, staring at her food, thinking about what Ellis had said. Caldwell was grieving, trying to live up to his father's legacy, seeing her as a threat instead of an ally. She understood that better than most. She'd spent years trying to live up to Nathan's legacy, to prove she was worthy of the life he'd given his own to protect. Grief was a weapon you turned inward. It carved you hollow, left you angry at the world for continuing to spin without the person you loved most. But that didn't excuse Caldwell's behavior. And it didn't mean she had to accept it. She finished her meal, cleaned her tray, walked outside into the cooling desert night. The stars were out, millions of them, eternal and indifferent. Nathan had loved the stars. He'd lie beside her in their backyard and point out constellations, tell stories about ancient warriors and gods, make her laugh even when the world felt heavy. I miss you, she whispered to the sky, every damn day. The stars didn't answer. They never did. But somewhere deep inside, Olivia felt a spark. Not anger, not vengeance. Determination. She'd come here to do a job, 18 months, that's all she needed to survive. And she'd survive. Not because she was stronger than them, not because she was better than them, but because she'd learned a long time ago that survival wasn't about winning. It was about enduring. One breath at a time. One day at a time. Until the mission was over. And she could finally rest. What do you do when the man trying to break you is the one who needs saving? The assault came on a Tuesday. Olivia was in the equipment room, alone, cataloging comm systems, standard inventory work, tedious, necessary. Major Caldwell walked in. The door closed behind him with a heavy click. She glanced up, saw his face, read the fury there. Major, can I help you with something? You can help by getting the hell off my base. His words were slurred, slightly. Bourbon, she could smell it from 6 feet away. Sir, I think you've been drinking. Maybe you should. He closed the distance between them, fast, too fast for a man who'd been drinking. His hands shot out, grabbed her by the throat. Olivia's body went still, not frozen, not panicked, just still. Years of training took over. Assess, analyze, respond only when necessary. His grip was strong, 40 pounds of pressure, maybe more, enough to restrict airflow, enough to hurt. But not enough to kill. Not yet. I checked up on you, Caldwell hissed, his face inches from hers. Asked around, called some contacts. You know what they told me. She said nothing, watched him, waited. Nothing, they told me nothing, like you're a ghost, like you don't even exist. My service record is classified, sir. Bull, you're nobody. Just another diversity hire who got promoted because of politics, because the Navy needed to check a box. His fingers tightened. Olivia's pulse stayed at 62. She could end this in 3 moves. Strike to the throat, knee to the groin, arm bar. He'd be on the ground before his brain registered pain. But she didn't move. Because this wasn't about winning. This was about something bigger. Major, she said quietly, her voice calm despite the pressure on her windpipe. Cameras are rolling. Article 128, aggravated assault. You sure you want to do this? Caldwell's eyes darted to the camera, back to her. I don't give a damn about cameras. You should. Why? So you can report me, ruin my career, add another notch to your diversity belt. Olivia met his eyes, saw the pain there, the grief, the desperate need to prove himself. I'm not your enemy, Major. Yes, you are, you and everyone like you, taking spots that belong to real warriors, real. He didn't finish, because Captain Ellis burst through the door. Caldwell, what the hell are you doing? Caldwell released Olivia, stepped back, his face flushed with shame and rage and something darker. Ellis looked between them. Master Chief, are you okay? Olivia nodded. I'm fine, Captain. She's lying, Caldwell spat. She's been trying to undermine me since she got here, writing reports, making me look incompetent. That's not true, sir. Isn't it? You think I don't know what you're doing. You think I don't see it. Ellis stepped between them. Caldwell, you need to leave now. Don't tell me what to do, Captain. I'm not telling you, I'm ordering you. As your second in command, leave, before this gets worse. Caldwell stared at Olivia. His eyes were hollow, empty. Then he turned, walked out. The door slammed behind him. Ellis exhaled, looked at Olivia. Are you sure you're okay? She touched her throat. It would bruise, but nothing was broken. I'm fine. You need to report this. He assaulted you, that's. I'll handle it, Captain. Master Chief. I said I'll handle it. Ellis looked like he wanted to argue, but he didn't. He just nodded. If you need anything, a witness, whatever, I'm here. Thank you. He left. Olivia stood alone in the equipment room, touched her throat again, felt the tenderness there. She could report this, should report this. But something stopped her. Because she understood Caldwell in a way Ellis couldn't. She understood what it was like to be broken, to be grieving, to be so desperate to prove yourself that you lashed out at anyone who reminded you of your failures. She'd been there. After Nathan died, after she'd lost the one person who truly understood her. She'd been angry, so angry. At the world, at God, at herself for not being there when he needed her. She'd lashed out too, in different ways, but the rage was the same. And someone had shown her mercy. Gunnery Sergeant Mike Ramsey, her mentor, the man who trained her, believed in her. He'd sat with her in the dark and reminded her that grief wasn't permission to hurt others. That strength meant choosing not to use your power. That the hardest missions weren't the ones where you pulled the trigger. They were the ones where you didn't. Olivia took a breath, made a decision. She wouldn't report Caldwell. Not yet. Because maybe, just maybe, he needed someone to show him the same mercy she'd been shown. Even if he didn't deserve it. 3 days later, the training accident happened. A water survival course, standard SEER training, 20 soldiers in full gear, swimming laps in the base pool. Caldwell was supervising. Olivia was running inventory nearby, heard the commotion, the shouting. She dropped what she was doing, ran toward the pool. A crowd had gathered, soldiers pointing, yelling. Someone was drowning. Olivia pushed through the crowd, saw the body underwater, gear weighing him down, struggling, panicking. It was Caldwell. His vest had malfunctioned, locked, pulling him under. The other soldiers were trying to reach him, but they were in full gear too, slow, inefficient. Olivia didn't hesitate. She kicked off her boots, dove into the water. Her body moved on instinct, years of water training. She reached Caldwell in seconds, found the vest release, pulled. It didn't budge. She pulled harder, nothing. Caldwell was thrashing, eyes wide, mouth open, drowning. Olivia wrapped her arms around him, used her body weight to pull him toward the surface. 20 feet, 15 feet, 10 feet. Her lungs burned, her muscles screamed. But she didn't let go. They broke the surface, gasped for air. Soldiers pulled them to the edge, hauled them out. Caldwell collapsed on the concrete, coughing, vomiting water. Olivia lay beside him, breathing hard, heartbeat pounding. Not 62 anymore. 120, 110, 90. Slowly dropping. Caldwell turned his head, looked at her. His eyes were red, streaming with chlorine and tears. "Why," he choked out, "why did you save me?" Olivia met his gaze. "Because that's what we do, Major. We get everyone home." He stared at her, understanding dawning. You were special operations." She didn't answer. Didn't need to. The truth was written in every scar on her body, every calm decision under pressure, every life she'd chosen to save instead of end. Caldwell closed his eyes, whispered, "I'm sorry." Olivia sat up, put a hand on his shoulder. "I know." The medics arrived, checked them both, cleared them. Captain Ellis pulled Olivia aside. "That was incredible. You saved his life. Anyone would have done the same." "No, Master Chief, they wouldn't have, not after what he did to you." She looked at him. "He's grieving. People do terrible things when they're grieving. That doesn't excuse it." "No, but it explains it." Ellis shook his head. "You're a better person than I am." "I'm just a person, Captain, same as everyone else." But that wasn't true. And they both knew it. How do you face the truth when it's been buried for 20 years? The court-martial was scheduled for Thursday. After the assault, after Caldwell's near drowning, after everything had come crashing down. General Mitchell sat Olivia down in his office, door closed, face grim. "Master Chief, I need you to testify." "Sir, I don't think." "This isn't a request. Caldwell assaulted you. There's video evidence, witnesses. He needs to face consequences." Olivia shifted in her chair. "General, with respect, I don't want to press charges." Mitchell leaned back, studied her. "Why not?" "Because he's struggling. His father died, he's trying to prove himself. I understand that." "Understanding doesn't excuse assault, Harper." "I know, sir, but destroying his career won't help anyone." "It'll help you. It'll show every other soldier on this base that you can't put hands on a superior officer without consequences." Olivia was silent. Mitchell sighed. "Let me ask you something. How many times have you been assaulted in your career?" She didn't answer. "I'm guessing more than once. I'm guessing you let it slide, kept your head down, didn't want to rock the boat. Am I wrong?" He wasn't wrong. "That ends now," Mitchell said firmly. "You're testifying and Caldwell is facing a court-martial, non-negotiable." The hearing was held in the base legal office. Small room, conference table, Caldwell seated at one end with his defense counsel, Olivia seated at the other with the prosecution. The video played on a laptop screen, clear as day. Caldwell's hands around her throat, her calm voice, his rage. The room was silent when it ended. The presiding officer, a colonel named Hartwell, looked at Caldwell. "Major, do you have anything to say in your defense?" Caldwell stood, his voice was quiet, broken. "No, sir, I did what the video shows. I assaulted Master Chief Harper. I have no excuse." "Do you wish to explain your actions?" Caldwell's voice cracked. "My father was a hero. Colonel James Caldwell, killed in Iraq, 2007. I've spent my entire life trying to live up to his legacy. And when Master Chief Harper arrived, I saw her rank, her accomplishments, and I felt inadequate." He looked at Olivia. "I lashed out. I wanted to prove I was worthy of being here, of wearing this uniform. And I did it by trying to tear down someone who'd earned her place far more than I ever have." The room was silent. "I don't deserve forgiveness," Caldwell continued. "I don't deserve mercy. I deserve whatever punishment this tribunal decides." Colonel Hartwell looked at Olivia. "Master Chief Harper, do you wish to make a statement?" Olivia stood, took a breath. "Yes, sir." She looked at Caldwell, then at the tribunal. Major Caldwell assaulted me, that's true. He put his hands on me in anger, tried to hurt me, and for a moment I considered ending his career for it. She paused. But then I remembered something. My mentor, Gunnery Sergeant Mike Ramsey, once told me that strength isn't about how much damage you can do. It's about how much damage you can endure without losing who you are. She met Caldwell's eyes. Major Caldwell is grieving. He's lost. He's trying to live up to an impossible standard. I understand that because I've been there. She turned back to the tribunal. I don't want to press charges. I want Major Caldwell to get help, therapy, counseling, whatever he needs, because I think he can be a good officer, a good leader, if he learns that his father's legacy isn't about violence. It's about protecting the people who serve beside you. The room was silent. Colonel Hartwell leaned forward. Master Chief, with respect, this tribunal isn't a recommendation committee. This is a court-martial. Major Caldwell committed assault. That's a punishable offense. I understand, sir, but I'm asking for leniency, not because he deserves it, but because mercy is sometimes the strongest choice we can make. Hartwell looked at the other officers on the panel. They exchanged glances, whispered. Finally, Hartwell spoke. This tribunal will take your statement under advisement, but make no mistake, Master Chief. Assault is assault, and there will be consequences. The hearing adjourned. Olivia walked outside into the harsh desert sun. Caldwell was waiting, standing alone by the building. He approached her, eyes red, voice thick. Why, after everything I did, why would you defend me? Olivia looked at him. Because someone once showed me mercy when I didn't deserve it, and it saved my life. I don't understand you. You don't have to, you just have to learn from this. Learn what? That your father's legacy isn't about being the toughest soldier. It's about being the kind of man who lifts others up, even when it costs you something. Caldwell's face crumpled. He dropped to his knees, sobbed. Olivia stood over him, put a hand on his shoulder. Get up, Major, you've got work to do. 3 days later, Gunnery Sergeant Mike Ramsey arrived on base. Olivia was in her quarters when she heard the knock. She opened the door, saw him standing there, older now, grayer, but still the same man who trained her 20 years ago. Gunny. Kid. They embraced. Ramsey stepped inside, looked around the small room. So this is where the Reaper hangs her hat these days. Olivia smiled. Don't call me that. Why not? It's who you are. It's who I was. Ramsey sat on the edge of her bunk. I heard what happened with Caldwell, the tribunal. News travels fast. It does when you save a man's life after he tried to choke you out. Olivia sat beside him. He was drowning. What was I supposed to do? Most people would have let him drown. I'm not most people. No, you're not. They sat in silence. Finally, Ramsey spoke. You know why I came here? To check on me. To give you something. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small cloth bundle. Olivia unwrapped it. Inside was a patch, black circle, silver phoenix rising, wings forming an antenna array. Latin inscription, Fidelis Silentio, faithful in silence. Red Squadron, Dev Group. The unit she'd bled for, killed for, lost Nathan for. Gunny, I can't. You can, and you will, because you never stopped being one of us, Olivia. You just went on a different mission for a while, raising Emily, healing, finding yourself again. Tears stung her eyes. I thought I left all of this behind. You can't leave behind who you are. You can only choose how you use it. He stood, looked down at her. Your war isn't over, kid. It's just changing from bullets to teaching, from taking life to preserving it. That's not weakness. That's evolution. He saluted, sharp, perfect, the respect of one warrior for another. She stood, returned it. After he left, Olivia attached the patch to her uniform. 20 years gone, but still hers, still earned, still real. She looked at herself in the mirror, saw the woman she'd become. Not just a warrior, not just a mother. Both and something more. A teacher, a protector, a bridge between worlds. And for the first time in a long time, she felt at peace. What does it mean to finally come home? 3 weeks passed like desert wind. The base shifted, subtly, the way tectonic plates move beneath the surface before an earthquake. Soldiers who'd ignored her started nodding in hallways. Rangers who dismissed her started asking questions. Officers who doubted her started listening. Not because she demanded it, because she'd earned it. By showing up, by doing the work, by choosing mercy when she could have chosen vengeance. Captain Ellis requested assignment to her technical team. "I want to learn from professionals," he'd written in his official request. Sergeant Torres, who'd stood silent during the assault, approached her after a briefing. "Master Chief, I should have said something. When Caldwell grabbed you, I should have." "You were scared, Sergeant, I understand." "That's not an excuse." "No, but it's human. Next time be better." "Yes, Master Chief." Caldwell himself was transferred to mandatory counseling. 6 months, intensive therapy, but he wasn't discharged. The tribunal had shown mercy, given him a chance to heal. Before he left for treatment, he found Olivia on the training field. "Master Chief." She turned, "Major. I'm heading out, wanted to say, thank you for saving my life both times." She nodded. "Take care of yourself, Major. Find your father's honor, but find it your own way, not by becoming someone you're not." He extended his hand. She shook it. "I won't let you down. Don't worry about me. Don't let yourself down." He left, and Olivia stood there watching him go, feeling something close to hope. On a Tuesday evening, there was a knock on her door. Olivia opened it. Standing there was a young woman, 20 years old, lean, strong, with Olivia's eyes and Nathan's smile. Emily, her daughter, grinning. "Surprise, Mom. Holiday Liberty, I came to see you." Olivia pulled her into a hug, held her, felt tears come, didn't fight them. "Baby girl, you're supposed to be at West Point." Was. They gave us 72 hours. I took a bus. Here I am." They sat in Olivia's small room, talked, caught up, the conversation of a mother and daughter apart too long. Eventually, Emily's voice turned serious. "So, Sergeant Major Ramsay called me, told me what happened, the assault, the trial, everything." Olivia stiffened. "Gunny talks too much." "No, he talks exactly enough." Emily's voice was firm. "Mom, why didn't you tell me about Dev Group, what you really did, the missions, the kills, all of it?" "Because I didn't want you to think you had to follow me. I left so you wouldn't feel pressured too." "To what? Be like you?" Emily leaned forward. "Mom, I want to be like you, not because you're dangerous, because you're good." Olivia felt something break inside, a wall she'd built, distance she'd maintained for protection. "You save people," Emily continued. "You tell the truth. You show mercy even when people don't deserve it. That's what I want to learn, not the shooting, not the killing, the integrity." "Emily, this life, it cost me everything. Your father, my health, pieces of my soul I'll never get back." "I know, and you did it anyway because it mattered, because someone had to, because you were capable." Emily took her mother's hands. "I'm not you, Mom, I won't be you, but I can learn from you, from what you did right, from what you do differently, from all of it." Olivia pulled her daughter close. Let the tears fall, for Nathan, for lost years, for the weight finally shared. "Your father would be so proud of you. He'd be proud of you too, Mom, for coming back, for finishing what you started, for still being the person who saves drowning soldiers even after they hurt you." They sat like that, mother and daughter, warrior and heir, past and future. Finally, Olivia stood, went to her footlocker, pulled something wrapped in cloth. Nathan's combat knife, inscribed, "Get everyone home." "Your father gave this to me on our wedding day. He carried it 10 years, saved his life twice." She held it out. "Now it's yours." Emily took it, reverent, understanding the weight of what she held. "Wait, Mom, this is Dad's. And now it's yours, because the mission continues, not through me, through you, through every person you lead, every soldier you inspire, every life you protect." Emily's fingers traced the inscription, "Get everyone home. What if I can't? What if I fail?" Olivia cupped her daughter's face. "Baby girl, you're a Harper. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to show up, do the work, make the hard calls, and when we fail, we own it. Learn from it, get better." She smiled, tired but real. That's all anyone can ask. 6 months later, Olivia's quarters were mostly packed. 18 months almost up, 2 more weeks, then terminal leave, then civilian life, teaching scuba diving, Florida Keys, Emily visiting on holidays, small house near water, peace if such a thing existed for people like her. She was folding uniforms when an email came. From Captain Ethan Caldwell. Subject: Thank you. Body: Chief Harper, 6 months in Afghanistan. My team is intact, all present, all accounted for. We had contact last week. Ambush, bad terrain. I remembered what you said, what my father would have wanted. I got my people out, everyone home. Thank you for showing me what that means. EC. Olivia read it twice, then saved it in a folder labeled "Worth It." Another email, this one from Ellis. Chief, finished my rotation with your technical team. Learned more in 6 months than 4 years at West Point. Requesting assignment to Naval Special Warfare Liaison. Want to keep working with professionals. Thank you. Respectfully, 1 LT Ellis. She smiled, replied, "Request approved, you'll do fine." The retirement ceremony was small. Just Ramsay, Mitchell, Hartwell, a few others who'd earned the right to be there. Mitchell pinned the Navy Cross on her chest, the one they'd recommended in 2015, the one that took 8 years to approve. "Better late than never," he said. "Yes, sir, thank you, sir." Ramsay hugged her afterward, tight embrace of a father who'd watched his daughter grow into someone extraordinary. "Proud of you, kid, always have been. Couldn't have done it without you, Gunny. Bull, you did it all yourself. I just gave you the tools." That night in her quarters for the last time, Olivia opened her notebook, worn leather cover, inside marked with 188 notches. She added one final entry. Mission log, final entry. "They called me useless, a relic, a diversity hire. They were wrong. I wasn't useless. I was waiting for the mission that mattered, not the mission to kill, the mission to teach, to show mercy, to prove that strength isn't about violence. It's about choosing not to use it. I came back to finish my time, to earn my pension, to be near Emily, but I stayed for something else, to show one broken soldier that his father would be proud, to show one drowning man that enemies can become brothers, to show one young woman that she can be both strong and kind. 21 years ago, Gunny Ramsay told me, 'Get everyone home.' I thought he meant from combat. Now I know he meant from darkness. Captain Caldwell is home, finding his father's honor. Lieutenant Ellis is home, finding his courage. Emily is home, finding her purpose. And me, I'm finally home too. Mission complete, legacy secured, the Reaper can rest." Master Chief Olivia Harper, U.S. Navy, retired. She signed it with Nathan's knife inscription, "Get everyone home." She closed the notebook, set it beside Nathan's photo, Emily's graduation picture, the Phoenix patch. Outside, the desert night was cool and clear, stars overhead, millions eternal. Tomorrow she'd drive away from Fob Ironside, away from the uniform, away from war, toward something quieter, gentler, earned. She turned off the light, lay down one last time in a military bunk. Heart rate dropping. 58 beats per minute, 56, 54. The rhythm of a warrior at peace. Finally truly at peace. Sometimes dignity doesn't speak, it simply acts.